Some MCU news with James Spader signing back on as Ultron to star in the new Vision TV show, sequel / spin-off to WandaVision. But we don't know exactly what this show is yet, but I'll get to that. First of all, as always, I'm Al, this is the Geek in Review, so let's get to it. So, another day, another MCU Disney Plus show. Starting in 2020, WandaVision was the first, and if you ask me, the best of the MCU TV show out so far. Showing Wanda and Vision's relationship post-Endgame, with the Scarlet Witch using her magic to resurrect her boyfriend after him being killed all the way back in the Infinity War saga by Thanos. Also, she trapped an entire town, created her own kids while fighting another witch, but that's a video for another time. Like and subscribe. WandaVision ended with the Vision dying, again, sort of, but those pesky government types had created a new version of Vision, the White Vision, who now has all the old Vision's memories, and he literally flew away at the end into the sunset. Which is where I guess the new Vision TV show is going to pick up. Helmed by Star Trek Picard Season 3 showrunner Terry Mattalas, it's also a safe bet that the Vision show is going to focus on identity and family, as both Picard Season 3 and WandaVision did heavily. But now we'll see Vision wrestling with his literal nature. Remember, and if you don't know, Vision was created in Avengers 2 The Age of Ultron, and as Bruce Banner describes him in Infinity War, Vision is a mix of him, Tony, Jarvis, Ultron and the Mind Stone. And as I mentioned, the voice of Ultron, James Spader, is coming back. Up until now, Ultron has been voiced by Walking Dead actor Ross Marquand, and his appearances that has pretty much been limited to What If. And if you ask me, those episodes were pretty good, and I'd highly recommend checking them out. If you didn't like Ultron in the movie, you're probably going to like them in the What If show. If that's your thing, I don't know. But we're getting the original voice back, and I think we might also get Spader in a pink or white Vision body too, because I don't think you're going to fork out all that money just to bring the guy back for his voice. But as always, we're going to need to wait and see. But if you aren't a massive MCU fan, you might be wondering who exactly is Ultron. Well, if you don't remember, he was the villain of the second Avengers film, most notably called Age of Ultron, and is an AI created to help achieve world peace that decided to run amok, nearly destroying humanity before the Avengers stopped him. The last time we seen Ultron in live action was this scene. So I guess you're wondering, how's he going to come back? Well, as I mentioned earlier, Vision is part Ultron and White Vision too, and White Vision is no doubt going to try to discover who and what he is, and what exactly makes him him. He was in a bit of a Tin Man kind of Data and Star Trek situation the last time we seen him, so they could do numerous things with him rather than just pick up exactly who he was, or exactly who the audience expects him to be. So it might result in him tapping into that Ultron side of his personality or mind, and it could be that Ultron takes control of Vision's body. Or Ultron could try and break free and create his own body, as that was part of his plan all along in the film. He was supposed to be the mind in Vision's body before those pesky Avengers stepped in and decided to stop him. Now, when you say Ultron, you can't help but think of Avengers, because of course it was an Avengers film. So we might see a few familiar faces in this movie. Most notably, and it's really interesting the phrasing on this, I'll talk about that in a moment, a lot of outlets are reporting that the Scarlet Witch, aka Wanda, aka Elizabeth Olsen, might return for this project. Which makes sense, but the fact they're using the word may return means at this point no one really knows. Because when you think of Wanda, you think of Vision, because the show was called WandaVision. I don't need to explain that, you're a smart person, leave a like. But also, the Scarlet Witch plays a huge part in other aspects of the MCU, going to Doctor Strange 2, all that multiverse stuff, and the Agatha show that's coming up, so we don't know exactly where this is going to go with regards to Wanda and her character. But one character that I think is going to show up and is due to make an appearance soon in the MCU is Wonder Man. Now, I'm not going to get into exactly who Wonder Man is and what his abilities are, because that's for another video, but in the comics, Vision and Wonder Man are closely linked and have a whole bunch of adventures together with the West Coast Avengers and all that stuff. Now, who are the West Coast Avengers? Well, they are exactly what the name says on the tin. The main Avengers team is set in New York, whereas the West Coast Avengers is in LA, and it's just a different group of heroes basically. And it does seem that Marvel are keying this up, or have been keying this up. There's been a lot of buzz in the last few years about who the new Avengers lineup's going to be, and there has been several leaks, and I've heard myself that there isn't just going to be one Avengers team. There's going to be like a main one, a smaller street level one, a multiverse one. Whether that's still going to happen with all the stuff that's going on with Kang, Robert Downey Jr. and Doom, I don't know, but I can see Marvel adapting this idea so there isn't just one Avengers team. We've actually got several smaller groups that help spread out the MCU story and the Avengers story over the franchise, and it would also help bring in a lot of these characters and tie them together. But one character that's also rumoured to be popping up in the Vision show is Vision's daughter Viv. Because in the comics, Vision has a family of his own, not just the one with Wanda. But again, there's been absolutely no confirmation of this, so unless a young actress is signed on to a role in this show and they don't announce who it is, I'm not ready to say that I'm fully expecting Viv to show up in this. We know that Wiccan, Vision's other son that he had with Wanda, is going to be in the Agatha show that's coming up in a few weeks' time, so if they do give Vision another family of his own, I wonder how that would tie into the existing one, because at the end of the day, those two kids didn't really exist, they were just figments of Wanda's sort of power and imagination. We also need to wait and see what Agatha is going to do with Wiccan, and is it going to set up or tie into anything else along the road. But I think this show has potential to be hopefully as good as WandaVision, because not every Marvel MCU Disney Plus show has been terrible. Secret Invasion is probably the worst so far. I really enjoyed Miss Marvel and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but the rest of them are kind of hit and miss, or I just aren't interested in at all. Daredevil is going to be the big one for me. That's coming up in March of next year, so I'm looking forward to that. But as always, I want to know what you guys think. Are you looking forward to the Vision show and getting Paul Bettany back? What do you think of Terry Mattalas taking this over? I definitely think it's going to be a family-focused affair, but as always, we're going to have to wait and see. One thing that's for sure though, bringing back Robert Downey Jr. and James Spader and Hugh Jackman for Deadpool and Wolverine, Marvel are pulling it out all the favourites after quite a long period of instability and things not really feeling connected. I think Ultron coming back in this way means we're probably not going to get an Armour Wars show or an Armour Wars film, but as always, we're going to have to wait and see what they do with them and where it goes. So that's it for the video, because we don't know too much about this show yet. I will be covering it when more news comes out, so make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything, and if you've made it this far, leave a like on the video as well, and as always, my name's Al, thanks for watching. They've got an evil android on board that they need to deal with.